what we are seeing is that there is a great debilitation of the Iranian axis. I think the Iranians made a huge miscalculation, especially when they decided to instruct Hezbollah to attack us on the 8th of October. I don't know to what extent Iran has is behind the 7th of October, but for sure the use of Hezbollah in a completely not only aggressive but irresponsible way basically put their entire structure of positions in the Middle East in danger, and brought to the demise not only of Hamas and to a certain extent Hezbollah, but also the ripple effect is what is happening now in Syria, because the Sunni rivals of the Iran axis saw this as an opportunity, and there's no vacuum in the Middle East. Now, so we have now these tentacles that are cut: the Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Assad regime. And the question is what is going to happen next? First, how things in Syria are going to evolve, whether we're going to see a continuation of the Russian presence in the Eastern Mediterranean or not. It seems now that some of that presence is leaving Syria. What's going to happen with the Houthis, and of course, what is the end game in the Gaza Strip? So, of course, Israel, we are a democracy. We try to make our wars as short as possible because we need people to get released from the army to go back to their jobs, and we don't have to have casualties for no reason. Maybe this is one of the reasons that we had this war in the first place, because we have allowed actually these threats to build themselves in the Gaza Strip and in Lebanon, and we didn't have the energy, the will to try and deal with the threats before they attacked us. It tells you something about how democratic countries behave. What is the price you pay when you allow such a threat to build itself around you? We hope that they will not. We hope that the ceasefire in Lebanon will hold. We are going to enforce it very strictly. We are not going to allow activity of Hezbollah south of the Litani River. And now we have taken defensive positions in the buffer zone. Following the Yom Kippur War in '74, there was a buffer zone created in which you have observers, and it's clean from any military force. Now, at the beginning of the civil war in Syria, we had some jihadi elements, including ISIS-affiliated elements, that invaded into the buffer zone, kicked out the UN observers, and used that territory to provoke the Assad regime, sometimes to attack us. We want to prevent that from happening now. So
this is not Golan Heights. So this is Golan Heights.
The Golan. Yes, the Golan Heights is a territory that is not only confined to the place in which Israel resides. You have parts of the Golan Heights that are a buffer zone, and you have part of the Golan Heights that are inside Syria. Okay. So we entered the buffer zone. First of all, because the UNDOF, the UN force of the observers there was attacked, and they needed our help. But also because we want to prevent any invasion to the buffer zone, and we want to see what happens in Syria next, to see who takes over, etc. So it's a temporary measure. Now, regarding the geopolitical situation, look, I think that there are, generally speaking, there are three things that you can say. The first is that the Iranian axis is pretty debilitated, okay, as a result of the cutting of the three tentacles. The second is what's going to happen with the Russian presence in the Eastern Mediterranean, because this is shifting the balance of power between NATO and Russia. And the third, this was meticulously planned attack by the Syrian opposition that was sponsored by the Turkish government. So here I think the Turks have a lot to win in this. The question is to what extent they are going to be able to stabilize the Syria situation as opposed to a continued situation of chaos, and what will be the orientation of the Syrian government. So will it be, just the messages of this guy Jolani that says that we want to just rebuild Syria, or the messages that we've seen in the Umayyad Mosque yesterday, when one of the leaders there said that this is the first stop, the next is Al-Aqsa, and the third is Mecca and Medina. Okay, so there's a gap there. So the question is, where are we? Where is Syria going to go? Are they going to go jihadi style? Don't forget that Hayat Tahrir Sham comes from Jabhat al-Nusra, which was part of Al-Qaeda. So, okay, guys, where are we going? It's a question. We don't know the answer to that.
But you think because Iran is being pushed so much into a corner, so many reverses which it has suffered in the last 3 or 4 months, would that push Iran into a direct? We already know that the shadow war has come out in the open. So where is it, in terms of your conflict with Iran, would that encourage Iran to, have some sort of a no-holds-barred kind of confrontation with Israel?
Well, I think that probably there are reasonable people and they learned the lesson, like they are exposed right now. So whether they want to continue, there are some people that are saying, okay, so they're going to opt for a nuclear option. That's not very conducive for them, because we have stated very clearly that we will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon. So if they are going to pursue that, then probably conflict will deteriorate. But I think that they have a chance now to de-escalate the situation. We don't have any choice. It's not that we are fighting a war that is, 5,000 miles away from Israel. It's about our existence. We won't surrender to terror.
So why isn't this message, I think you said you're considering hard power, not soft power. Why isn't this message spread more effectively? Because, we have, I think 3 or 4 Israelis writing for us?
We have 2 at least.
Yeah, 2 or 3, right? And very good columnists and fair. But even they haven't quite said. I think there is a feeling inside Israel that we don't give a damn about how many Palestinians get killed this time because of October 7th. And I think that is permeating even in independent commentators.
Look, I think we have to.
Therefore, your image is taking a hit.
Yeah, we are. I think that this is not the main cause. I think that the main cause is what I said before: being outnumbered, also outnumbered in terms of capital investments when it comes to social media and coverage, also from satellite channels in the West. By the way, BBC in Arabic is terrible. It's controlled by the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay, we are really cornered when it comes to international media, and so we are not getting sympathy in that. Yeah, there were statements by Israelis, that felt frustrated after the 7th of October. Okay, that's natural. But taking that and saying, oh, because of this statement, Israel is conducting genocide. No, we are not conducting genocide, because it's not the definition of genocide. The definition of genocide is when you have an intention to exterminate another people. That's our intention. So, of course, you can distort that, okay? And this is embedded into the international system. Look, I know India is also very frustrated with the UN, okay? Because, you don't feel that you have a stage there, okay? Our situation is much worse. It's Abba Eban once said that you could have a resolution in the General Assembly in the middle of the day that now it's night. And you will pass it with the majority of, 170 countries. Because that's how it works. The UN works in groups. So you need the votes of the other group to get your people appointed, to get the resolutions that you want. It's coalition. We are outnumbered. That's a reality. At the end of the day, you know what? I prefer to be alive and not sympathize than dead and sympathize.